to be with us, and it's going to be exciting what she shares. So let me just put you into some rooms. Just 1 second.
And she's going to be talking about how to get gigs, how to find speaking leads, those kinds of things. So you don't want to miss out. Because if those are the things that you're looking, now that you're kind of building this all out, what are my next steps? How do I get booked? How do I get leads? She's going to be sharing that today.
Great. So we'll just give you a few minutes in the breakout rooms, and then we'll bring you back.
Give you just a little bit more. And let me give you just a little bit more. And he goes, I couldn't handle another bite, not even a wafer thin mint. And the maitre d' gives him a wafer thin mint, just a little tiny, like probably not even any bigger than what we get, at church when we're taking communion, just that wafer thin mint. And it was enough to send the man over the edge, and he got sick and so forth. It's very funny. It's much funnier than how I just told it. But you all might be that full after 3 days. Like, I'm just ready to take this out into the world. I'm ready to take the goodness of what I've learned. And some of you might be like, well, maybe I got room for a little bit more. I hope that you have a little bit of room for what I'm going to be sharing with you here today, because what I'm sharing with you is how do you now take this out to the world and make money with it? How do you take what you've learned here over the last 3 days on how to be a better speaker, how to be a better presenter, you've heard from image consultants, you've heard from speaking consultants, you've heard from others who help those get on stages. And what I'm going to focus on with you today is how you get more stages, how you get paid from every stage that you're on, and a little bit on how you create your own stage. Because while the topic of this is corporate speaking, and I'm going to touch on that, I also want you to expand and be open to making money at every single type of speaking opportunity. How does that sound? We all know when we're speaking to a corporate market, very frequently, that is one of the first ways that you can get paid from a stage, and that's getting paid before. Typically, when you're going for that corporate market, it's giving a keynote, or maybe you're doing a workshop, maybe you're doing an interactive, maybe you're doing a training, and you're getting paid by a corporation, an association, an university, or another organization that has a budget for you to come speak to their people. And the audience isn't your client. The entity writing the check is your client. And you're going to present your content. You're going to present your content to that association, organization, institution, or organization. And if it is in alignment with their goals, they will pay you to come talk to their people. So when you're going for that kind of opportunity, it's super important that you position yourself as the value you bring the entity writing the check, because they are your client. So how are you going to help a corporation make more money? How are you going to help a corporation keep their employees and lower their turnover? One of the most expensive things in a corporation is your turnover, is your training, is your hiring. So are you going to help a corporation keep their employees longer or help them be more productive, help them be healthier, help them be happier and stay in that role? Are you going to help a corporation with maybe their initiatives? Maybe it's a corporation that's leaning into a cause. Maybe they stand behind a nonprofit or a cause or a concern, and you can help them further that cause or concern. So you want to understand that entity and you want to show the value to them. Just like when you're going for a client and you want to show that value to the client, how are you going to help them? You have to show the entity, how are you going to help them? Why you versus another speaker? And rarely is it about motivation or inspiration. I hope that in the last 2 days, I'm not the first one to tell you you're not going to get paid because you're an amazing motivator or an amazing inspirer. As much as we should pay for that, as much as that is highly valuable, we have to put ourselves in the shoes of the entity writing the check. How does it benefit them? How does it benefit them to make more money, save more money? If it's a university, how does it help them get more students, keep their students, or maybe be on the cutting edge of trends and degrees and elevate the authority of that university? If it's an association, I'll give you an example of one of the most recent paid opportunities, corporate opportunities that I spoke on. Our local United Way serves about 17 to 20 nonprofits here in the Gainesville, Georgia area. Well, they reached out to me, and I've done this same talk for them a few times. The first one was in 2020 when we first kind of took everything virtual. This was more of an emergency at that point. They had 17 to 20 nonprofits who were ready to do their fundraisers as annual dinners and art auctions and galas, all in-person experiences. And they were like, Dannella, we know that you're an expert when it comes to virtual events as well as in-person events. We have these nonprofits and they need to know, how can they still make money this year? How can they still do their annual fundraiser when they can't have that dinner, when they can't have that art auction, when they can't have that gala where everyone dresses up nicely and shows up and donates money? How can they still get their annual fundraising? Otherwise, that nonprofit can't go anywhere, can't do anything. The initiative will die. So the United Way paid me $7,500. And every other year, they've also paid me $7,500 to do a workshop for their new and up and coming nonprofits to teach them how they can do their fundraisers, both in person and virtually, and still reach their fundraising goals for the year. What's some of the technology? What's some of the tools that we have? How can their in-person event translate to virtual? And in some cases, make even more money virtually because they don't have some of the expenses of in-person. So the United Way serves those nonprofits. Well, they did not want me to promote. So I said, I'm happy to not promote my services, but you're going to pay me to come in and do this workshop. And this was a good move for them because they are paid by those nonprofits for the support and the education and the what they get by coming together as a collective. So I understood the assignment. The United Way needs to bring knowledge and value to their nonprofits. So they have a budget to bring in people like me to bring value to their nonprofits. So how are you positioning yourself to bring value to those who have a check? How can you help a corporation, help a university, help an organization or help an association serve their people. And that's how you're going to get more opportunities to get paid before you take the stage. And if you're interested in corporate events, that may be where you've stopped. I want to open the door to the other two ways that you get paid from the stage. Now, this is very complicated. You might want to take notes at this point because I already shared with you the before. What comes with that, and you might want to write this down, is during and after. You want to get paid before, during, or after you take the stage. Now, that was supposed to be a little bit of a joke, and only one of you cracked a smile. You guys must be getting close to getting full. But before, during, and after. And every time you take the stage, you should get paid before, during, or after. So getting that corporate keynote or that corporate training, that university training, that's getting paid before you take the stage. And frequently it stops there. Because very, very rarely will you also have the opportunity to promote to that audience. The entity writing the check is your client. And many times they don't want you to promote to the audience. So negotiate well, negotiate your value. You may be able to offer gifts to that audience. That may be the way that you get their leads. Maybe you offer your book. Maybe you can sell your book. Maybe you can offer a follow-up training or your newsletter or something of value to the audience where it will allow you to collect leads from that audience. But sometimes it really does stop there. And you do want to make sure that you are well versed of what you're allowed to do or not allowed to do. Because when you're getting paid by that corporation or that university, you want to make sure that you honor your commitment and contract with them so that you can make sure they honor their contract or commitment to you. But generating leads, getting paid after you take the stage. Frequently, this kind of opportunity is not going to be one where you get paid first. But it might even be a free opportunity. It might be speaking on a podcast, speaking on a summit, speaking where you get to provide value to the audience. And in exchange for your time and attention and value you bring the audience, you get the opportunity to give what I like to call a compelling and complimentary call to action. And I call it this because I don't like to call it a freebie. Do any of us actually want a freebie? Sounds like a coupon. I don't know about you, but a coupon doesn't excite me, but a gift does. When you give me something valuable, but complimentary, that's a gift. And so when you get the opportunity to give a gift to an audience, treat it with value. Speak about it with value and respect, and the audience is more likely to do the same. Make sure that it does have value and that you present it in such a way that the audience knows exactly what they're getting, and don't make it a throwaway. I doubt that you've seen it here at this event, but I'm sure you've been at other events where somebody says, get on my call. Let's have a call. They don't explain what the call is going to be about. You don't know what the value is for getting on a call with someone. Or maybe they even say the words, here's my freebie. Well, who wants to share their contact information for somebody's freebie? That doesn't sound valuable. But when you treat your complimentary and compelling calls to action with respect, when you clearly share with folks what the value is that they're going to get out of it, why they should give their valuable information and contact information, you're more likely to get better results from those opportunities where you are going to get paid after, where in that conversation afterwards, By getting their contact information, you can continue the conversation through email, through reaching out by phone, by offering other opportunities to connect, by inviting them to a master class or to an event in the future, or inviting them to get on a call with you by sharing what that call is going to be about. You then have the opportunity to convert some of those conversations into sales conversations where you can actually listen to somebody, find out what their needs are, find out if what they need is something that you can provide. And you can have one of those conversations that I love that ends with, would you like to get started on Visa or MasterCard? Because when you have conversations that end with, how would you like to get started? And you ask for the sale and someone has the opportunity to say, yes, let's get started. And here's my money. That is the moment where transformation can actually begin. And so getting paid after is where you get the opportunity to continue to nurture on and love on someone and have a conversation in the future where you make sales, you get clients, and you grow your business. So that's getting paid after. And then there's getting paid during. And getting paid during is probably one of my favorite ways of getting paid from the stage. It is a rush to make an offer when you know you're in front of an aligned audience and they've been gathered at either someone else's event or your own event. And you know what challenges exist in the room. And you know that you have an aligned offer that you get to make. And before you even step off the stage, there are those who have taken out their credit card and signed up to work with you. Some of the most lucrative hours in my business have been where I've made an offer from the stage. And I've made small offers from the stage. I've made high ticket offers from the stage. And because I was in front of an aligned audience, I knew what the challenges were in the room. I'd had enough one-on-one conversations that I also knew what objections sometimes came up when I make that offer. I could incorporate the answers to those objections in my talk. Now, I'm not about to make a paid offer to you, but if I was making an offer right now and inviting you to take out your credit card, it feels like, well, you make one offer and it kind of blankets everyone the same. And it's not really like that. Because what happens when you make an offer from the stage is, instead of having one conversation with everyone, you're actually having a conversation with everyone at the same time. Which means if I was making an offer right now, Frida might start saying to herself, I wonder if Dannella is the right person to help me with that problem. Is she the right person? While Ruby might already know the answer to that person, and she might say, Dannella's the right person, but is this the right offer? Is this a good value? She's just given me a price. And am I going to get those results? If I get the results that she's talking about, is that a good exchange of the value? She's thinking about the money. She's thinking about, is this the thing that I want to invest my money in? Joyce, on the other hand, isn't even thinking about the offer I just made. She's just wondering what time lunch is. And then Andres might be like, you know what, this sounds great, but that problem's actually already solved for me. But that bonus sounds really good. I might actually want to lean in just for that fast action bonus. All of the normal sales objections. And guys, thank you for letting me use you all as examples. I know you've all been there at some point in the audience. But all of the objections that people give you in a one-on-one sales conversation, how much time is this going to take? Is this the right person for me? Am I the right person for them? Do I need to check in with a business partner or with my spouse? Do I need to move some money from here to there? Is this the right next move for me? Is it about timing? Is it about money? Is it about maybe this sounds great, but I need a different payment plan? Like all of the conversations that come up in a one-on-one conversation will come up when you're selling from the stage. So more one-on-one calls will help you do better when you go to make that sale from the stage. But if you will practice these three things and you will work on all three of these ways to get paid from the stage and not limit yourself to getting paid before, during, or after, but you have a way to make money from every single great opportunity, I think speaking is the fastest path to you being able to grow your business. I think as a marketing method, it works whether you're a 4-figure business owner and you're just starting out, or you're an 8-figure business owner and you're really looking to grow and scale. And personally, I don't know of another marketing method that really meets us all wherever we're at, whether we're starting out or we're seasoned. Speaking, getting in front of an aligned audience and making an offer, whether it is making that offer to the corporation and getting paid before you take the stage, whether it is making an offer while you're on the stage and getting clients while you're still speaking, or it's offering that gift or that resource and following up and getting the sale after you speak. I don't know of another marketing method that will serve you where you're at and continue to serve you as you grow your business. I know some of the other marketing methods, and there may have been some things shared here. They'll certainly work at certain places and times in your business. I'm a 7-figure business, and I got to tell you, I have not cracked the code on Facebook ads. I have what I lovingly call given to Facebook philanthropy, because all I have done so far is written checks and paid money, and I have not cracked the code when it comes to advertising or paid advertising. But I know when I take the stage and I'm in front of business owners who want to grow their business and they want to make impact and they want to make income, I know that I bring incredible value to the stage, and there will be a percentage of every audience that I'm in front of that wants to continue the conversation. And that brings me to the fourth way that you can make money from the stage. So before, during, and after. And here's the fourth one. Create your own stage. Create your own stage in the form of a masterclass, a summit, a 1-day, or a 3-day event. This will allow you to choose whether you want to sell from your own stage, whether you want to generate leads from your own stage, or whether you want to make your highest ticket offerings from a stage. And I think as a speaker today, as a business owner that's using speaking and events to grow your business, creating the right size event for where you're at in your business can be one of the greatest game changers. If you want to sell your high ticket offers, nothing like a 3-day event that gives you the opportunity to make that $10,000 or greater offer from the stage. Maybe you're not comfortable yet in making that highest premium offer from the stage. Maybe it's a 1-day event where making an offer from $2,000 to $8,000 is appropriately sized for a 1-day event. Or maybe you want to start off a little bit smaller. A masterclass where you're offering your $200 to $2,000 offerings is a great way to have a sales tool in your pocket, which actually works very well when you're generating leads from your speaking opportunities. Instead of inviting people to get on a call with you, what if you're inviting them by giving them a gift to an opportunity to hear you speak for 75 to 90 minutes and then making an offer. Now, if you are under, in your first six figures, maybe you want to still have you want to have those one-on-one calls. But once you've reached about six figures in your business, definitely having a masterclass where you're protecting your time, you're consolidating your leads into a 75 to 90 minute speaking opportunity and making your $200 to $2,000 offering can be a great way to make sure you always make your sales goals and can be a great way to serve. And that helps you when you are generating leads from a speaking opportunity. You can invite them to your masterclass. It becomes that great gift or great resource. So I've shared a little bit about how you're going to make money from the stage. And now you may be left with the last question is, how am I going to find these speaking opportunities? Where are these opportunities that you're speaking of, Dannella? Because it seems like when you see a speaking opportunity, maybe the speaking spots are already filled. Have you all ever experienced that where you see an event and you're like, that would be a great event for me to speak at, but the opportunities have already passed. They're already filled. Because here's what is also true about speaking opportunities. You need to have access to the opportunities when they are actively looking for speakers. And by the time you see an event that's looking for attendees, the speaking spots are filled. My team has been generating speaking leads since 2019. I've been an event professional for the last 40 years, and we started working with speakers exclusively in 2017. I went from personal events to corporate events to events with nonprofits to events with municipalities. I've done events from 25 people to 250,000 people. And we were matching speakers and events, but always on behalf of the event. Well, I had one of my speaker clients that we had matched into many events come to me in about 2017. And some of you may have heard of him. His name is Davin Michaels. And Davin came to me and he said, I need a speaker negotiator working on my behalf who really understands the event world. Because I have a team that can find opportunities, but they can't always have the conversation. So Davin hired me. And I worked for Davin for about a year, negotiating great opportunities for him. And I realized much of the challenges that Davin had, almost every other speaker had. And I had more and more speakers coming to me saying, that was great. I love that you matched me on behalf of the event, but how can you match me on behalf of me? How can you find the opportunities that I'm looking for? Whether you're looking to get paid before, during, or after, where are these opportunities? Because it seems like I don't have the time as a business owner to find the opportunities and also apply for the opportunities, to find the opportunities and actually speak at the opportunities. And so what I found a lot of speakers did was what I like to call the roller coaster method of filling your calendar. That is, my calendar is empty. So now I'm going to do some research and I'm going to find opportunities. And so you spend time finding a few opportunities, putting them on your calendar, and then get focused on completing those opportunities, get focused on working with those clients, and then you find your calendar to be empty again. Finding speaking opportunities and keeping your calendar full needs to be an everyday, every month activity. And that's a lot of work. So me and my team have been working on finding those opportunities for speakers and providing those speaker leads since 2019. And we now package them in what I think is the best opportunity for speakers today to have access to 4,000 to 7,000 speaking opportunities every single month. In addition to over 11,000 podcasts that are actively seeking speakers, and that is called Speakertunity. Now, you may have heard of Speakertunity before. It was started many, many years ago by an incredible woman who we worked alongside each other quite well for many, many years, Jackie Lappin. Well, Jackie sold it to Amon Guy about 2 years ago. Now, that made me a little bit nervous because Amon has been a client of mine for many years. We've gotten him on stages, and Amon is one of the best people I know for systems and technology. So I got a little nervous when he bought this that could have been seen as my competition. But Amon called me up and said, Dannella, you have the best team for supporting speakers, getting on more stages. And I don't want to do that part. But I've bought this technology. I'm going to improve this technology, put some AI into it. And then I think we should combine them. So late last year, Amon Guy and I combined to create the new Speakertunity, what I feel is the best in technology and team to get you access to speaking opportunities so that you don't have to spend the time doing research, finding the opportunities, 4,000 to 7,000 fresh opportunities every single month. And every opportunity in there is current to the best of our ability. Those event hosts, some of them, will put out an event and then disappear. But for the most part, these are new opportunities that our team, and we've combined our teams, his and mine, to create an incredible, incredible research team so that when you look for opportunities separated by events, giveaways, summits, paid opportunities, and podcasts, you can easily find the opportunities that fit you, that have the audience that you're looking for, and easily find the applications, find the emails of the person who's making the decision. And we've built some great technology into the platform that will actually help you take your bio, your profile, your lead magnets, and adapt them to recreate talk titles that are specific for each opportunity, to position you even better for each opportunity. Will take your bio and recraft your bio. Isn't it annoying when every single event host invites you to share a different size bio? Next thing you know, you got a 45-word bio and a 60-word bio and a 75-word bio and a 225-word bio, all because they've made a different decision. Wouldn't it be helpful if in the platform you could say, take my bio and create the best 75-word bio? You can do that with our platform. We know the challenges of getting booked to speak, and we've built a platform that will help you month in and month out find the right opportunities, choose the right opportunities, and position yourself better to be the one chosen for those opportunities. So you need access and you need authority. And we've built that into Speakertunity. I know that Aaron has, let me just look here really quick. I think I'm getting close on time here. And we may have to, I think that one of my links did not get shared to the main dashboard, so I may need to put it in the chat for you. Aaron, can you just tell me?
Yeah, just put it in the chat and I'll transfer it over for you.
Okay, great. We have an event coming up in September I want to invite you all to, and it is called the Ultimate Speaker Event. 3 days of more valuable content for getting paid from every stage that you're on, and an exciting and profitable speakers competition. You've learned a lot here over this last 3 days, and I want to give you all the opportunity to take my stage in September at the Ultimate Speaker Event. The Ultimate Speaker Event will allow you, you can register to speak in the Speakers Coliseum, And we have prizes including $500 or more for competing at the Ultimate Speakers event. So I want to share that link with you, and you can all register with my compliments to attend that 3-day event. And Erin, I think I need to give you the VIP
the other one I
link.
have is just sure I have your calendar because that was your VIP gift. But if you wanted
Yeah.
to give me another link, I can do that too.
No, I want to, for those of you that upgrade to VIP, and let me just ask, you guys are here at the end of day 3. Is there anyone who has not yet upgraded to VIP?
Yes.
You're crazy town. There is no way that you can retain all this goodness that you have heard over the last 3 days. And I saw the VIP dashboard. There are incredible opportunities in that VIP. So upgrade to VIP. And those of you that upgrade to VIP, I'm going to do for this event what I never do. I never offer my calendar to an event like this. I usually offer a masterclass, but because you're here and you're here on day 3 and you've upgraded to day 3, I'm going to invite you to a speaker strategy call with me where we're going to spend 30 minutes and I'm going to ask you, where do you want to go with your speaking? What is the greatest challenge that you have with your speaking? How much money did you make this month with your speaking? How much money did you make this year? And whether you're looking to get paid before, during, or after, we're going to identify what your greatest roadblock is. What is that speed bump that you just haven't figured out how to get over on your own? And I never offer my calendar. If you look on that calendar link, you'll see that there is a $500 an hour option. That is what I require people to pay me to get on a call with me, because I run a busy business. I have 16 employees. We're not only helping speakers get on more stages, but we are in the trenches with our clients, running their master classes, their 1-day and their 3-day events. I don't have the time to typically offer up my calendar, but I want to do that here because you're here on day 3. I know you're committed because when I spend my time to work with somebody, I want to make sure that I'm giving my time to people that are actually going to take some of the suggestions and make impact and make income. That is what drives me. I work very hard. I love what I do, though, because I don't have the solutions for everybody. My husband might tell you that, I act like I know it all. I actually don't know it all. For you all, I'll admit that. For him, I might have all the answers. For you guys, though, I know I don't have the answers for every challenge in the world. But you all help people lose weight. You all help people have better health and wellness and live longer lives. You all help people have better relationships, whether that's better relationships with your spouse or your significant other, better relationships with your children, better relationships with your parents as you move into caregiving, better relationships with your employees, better relationships with that person in the mirror. You all help people make more money in different ways. You all help people save money. Like combined, you all have the answers to the challenges in the world. And I know that when I help speakers get on more stages and I help those same business owners host impactful and profitable events, the world is made a better place. Nearly 25 years ago, I was at a rock bottom place in my life. And a doctor looked at me in the hospital and said, "We think we can save you, but are you going to live a life worth living? Or are you going to end up here again?" And I had to answer that call. And that call was, I am going to live a life worth living. And my legacy is helping speakers and business owners make this world a better place. And so I open up my calendar to those that I know are serious. So upgrade to VIP. I think the team has just put the link in the chat again. If you've not yet done so, please do so. And you'll see my calendar I look forward to having that conversation with you. I look forward to finding out what may be that stumbling block. What is that thing that just hasn't made you're getting all the results that you're looking for from your stage, from other stages? How can you consistently get on stages to make an impact and to make income? Because I don't believe in starving artists and I don't believe in starving speakers. So let's make sure you're making all of the impact and all of the income that you and your expertise deserve. I think that is just about my time. So I'm going to give it back to Aaron and Stephen and Jay. Thank you so much for having me here today and for the opportunity to have this conversation.
Yeah, and I want to give, if you guys have any questions, like we have a few minutes for you guys to ask some questions to Dannella. I will tell you, I've been in Dannella's world for a while now. I use her, we partner on things, we do, she gets me on stages, I get her on stages. But what I will say is, even before they owned Speakertunity and shifted it, I have a whole thing where I got myself 15 gigs in 10 days between LA and San Diego to sell into my in-person event in Palm Springs a month later. And it literally had everything I needed. And all I did was send out all these emails. But now with the AI component, it's so much easier. It's like mind blowing. And that's why I was like, I need to get Dannella on here. She's an expert at all of this, but also I was like, with all the new things that I'm hearing about Speakertunity, I have to go back in and start looking and playing again because it's been a while for me. But I just know that you're in good hands. And so I want you to ask any questions, guys. I mean, I know one of the biggest things is how do I get gigs? I mean, that's yesterday, I don't know, I think it was Marla was talking about what people say their problem is, what they want to hire for. So I always go to networking events like, I need more gigs. I need more speaker opportunities. I need more. I need more. I need more. And I'm like, well, why don't you have a funnel? Why don't you have these people coming to you? What are you doing? Are you going out there and searching? Are you filling out applications? Well, this lady knows all about it. Okay. That's what she does. And so this is your time to really what do they want? What do you think is keeping you away? I told you at the very beginning, after I wasn't getting chosen, I called 125 event organizers to figure out why I didn't get picked at the beginning of my career, right? What am I doing wrong? And I got so much feedback that I never was not asked again. I knew what they wanted, what they needed, and how they needed it. And Danella's an expert in that. So if you have questions, either pop them in the chat or just raise your digital hand and we'll bring you up. But I know this is one of the biggest things. You guys are like, how do I get these things? How do I get gigs? So it's important for you to ask those questions. And yes, she's an amazing presenter. I love that. Adina. We can't hear you. You speak up louder.
Really garbled.
Yeah.
Do you hear
Neil,
me now?
thank you so much for the great presentation while Adina's getting her volume.
Okay.
I will tell you, when I first started speaking in 2017, I was part of the 72% that was terrified of taking the stage. And the only reason I took the stage was I wanted what was on the other side of it. I had one of those moments where I realized that networking and referrals, which was how I had grown my business, was only going to take me so far. But my speaker clients were literally scheduling their success. When they scheduled speaking opportunities, they were controlling their cash flow from their calendar. And I'm like, I want that. I could not breathe and speak at the same time. It was really, really challenging. I sounded awful. I was nervous as all get out, but I did it and I didn't die. So I did it and I did it again and I didn't die again. And then I did it. And eventually it got to the point where I could breathe and speak at the same time. And now I love speaking. Adina, do you get that sound worked out?
Yeah. Is it okay for you? Do you hear me? Okay,
Yeah, we can hear you great now.
Yeah, so I have no problem speaking to people. I could do 1,000, 2,000. That's not the issue. And I agree. You have to practice until you become comfortable. That's the best way to do it, Dannella. This is the specific question I have for you. I'm kind of in a specialized niche. The speaking I do is targeted to accountants, like CPAs.
Great.
So I would like to ask you, where could I find gigs where I speak really to that market?
So, I mean, locally, almost every chamber of commerce or similar kind of entity, you're going to have some accountants, or it's going to be business owners who have accountants. Sometimes you speak to an audience, and sometimes you speak through an audience. So really any kind of business or small business kind of opportunity could be where you're speaking directly to a group of bookkeepers and accountants, or when you're speaking to small business owners, you might adapt your talk just a little bit to get referrals to the accountants that you want to get to. So that would be locally, lots of opportunities. And then on a bigger scale, there's, of course, there's state associations for accountants. There's national associations for bookkeepers and accountants. So lots of opportunities.
Okay, well, because in my
Adina,
case,
hold on, Adina. I'm going to show you what to do right now.
okay.
I just asked GPT, give me a list of accountant associations. Look at the list. There's a long list here of places that say they have speaking opportunities, right? Now it's giving
Okay.
you how I would speak to them because this is trained for me. But look at
Right.
that. Look at how many you're missing out on, right? Use AI.
Yeah.
Go ask where these associations are. Associations are huge and they pay. And sometimes you
Yes.
can pitch from stage. So you kind of have the best of both worlds there.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Or you
What
can
else?
join Speaker Tunity and we have some.
Uh-huh.
Do you have for my audience? That's really my question.
Well, we
They're
do
all
for
specific,
every audience, or we're always listening. Like sometimes we have people who, who come to us and they're like, hey, I don't see a lot in this particular niche. Well, we open up what we're looking for. But we have 4,000 to 7,000 every month. But a lot of times, like in a case like yours, Adina, somebody might say, I speak to accountants, and they don't actually step out to, well, here's where I can speak, but here's also kind of my hidden audience.
Got it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank
Great.
you. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Bring Stephen back up here too. Well, I really appreciate you, Dannella, showing up, playing full out. I'm loving watching your little thing that you're doing right now of having this bidding war, and it's kind of fun.
Isn't that fun? Yeah.
I'm like secretly stalking it right now just to watch it. And I was like, numbers in there. I'll bid. Let's go. Let's get these numbers up for her. Like, I don't know what we're talking about here, but that's pretty awesome. And, I've spoken at Dannella's events. She puts on amazing events. She has great audiences. I mean, we talked about all the different ways to get on speaking. Even with Debbie Allen was about, sometimes you sponsor and pay to get on a stage. Well, I paid to speak on Dannella stage because why wouldn't I? They're speakers and they wanted my TEDx stuff. And no one else was talking about TEDx but me. So you can go and do an offer. And so I think I paid $6,000 and I made 23 grand. You think that's worth the ROI? Right? And it wasn't even a huge audience that day, and some of the people that weren't even in the room later came up to me in the bar area and were talking to me. And they're like, I heard you made an offer about TEDx. And I was like, yeah, so I was selling in the bar. I was everywhere. It wasn't just speaking from stage, right? And so you have to know that you're in good hands. You've got somebody that really understands all facets, right? Whether it's you're behind the scenes, whether she's running your events, whether she's really helping you think through what the event planner wants, what the organizer needs, what you want, what are your end goals, and how to get these matched up so that you can have those perfect opportunities. So I'm excited about her event in September. Make sure you go into the chat, get your freebie. It's also in your dashboard. And then for the VIPs, you get another bonus, right? Another session with an amazing person that can help move your business. And I know you want leads, so make sure you upgrade to VIP so you get those. Thank you so much, Dannella, for being here and participating with us.
Why, thank you. I so appreciate it. And yeah, I'm loving the auction going on. Actually, while we were here, we did an auction in our Facebook group on some of our services. Aaron, I'll connect you with the the team that I worked with on that. But yeah, it's been a good day.
That sounds awesome. I can't wait. Like I'm always the one when we're in events together or we're cruising and like she's on a stage. Like I didn't know Devin Michaels and I didn't know the San Juan Social Cruises, but I went this year. Had a blast. Dannella got up on stage. She had all these breakouts. I was like, how do I get to do that? Did it work for you? What were your results? Like, because this is how we talk to each other. Like we're friends and we do the same similar work, complementary. And it really is she's a great resource to have. So you should feel special that she even offered it. So thank you so much.
Of course, of course. And there's my friend Jay. Hello, my friend.
Is he back in now? Okay, let's see. Where is he at? I was going to bring him up too because we're about to jump
We
into
are about to
a
do the
panel.
panel thing.